2008, baby! I'm talking global recession. I'm talking Obama. I'm talking Call of Duty World at War. But more important than all these things combined, I am talking about classic ecchi anime. Now, I've talked about how much I love the year of 2007 when it comes to anime. But as they say, the only thing better than 2007, well, that's 2008. Rosario plus Vampire, or Rosario 2 Vampire, or Rosario and Vampire. Man, all the official names suck. I'm calling it Rosario Vampire. Yes, a lot of things may have happened in 2008, but the only one that actually had gravity and lasting implications for our current day society is the Winter 2008 series, originally created by Akihisa Ikeda and animated by Studio Gonzo. Now, this is an ecchi anime with a lot of lewd nonsense and a lot of quirky comedy and whatnot, and I legitimately found it to be one of my favorites that I've watched in recent times. So I'm actually pretty excited to talk about it today. In this video, we're going to be tackling the question of should you watch, and I'll be giving my thoughts on what is quite possibly the weirdest anime I have ever watched in my entire life. Like, I mean, seriously, this anime made me rethink my entire life choices countless times. However, if you guys want me to tackle the second season of this anime in the next video, then get this video to 10k likes. Also, please leave a comment with another anime you would like to see me review. This anime was recommended by this guy, and this guy, and this guy. Like, subscribe, and let's start talking about some quirky little anime girls. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I see an anime called Rosario Vampire and the front cover of the damn thing looks like this, personally, I don't have very high expectations. And it doesn't help that Mal's promotional art for the series hasn't been updated in a decade, so the goddamn thing looks more pixelated than a Japanese woman's vagina. Anecdote time. I actually have a friend who unironically likes this anime. He's made fantastic YouTube content like Kurumu Teleports You to 2007. And while some people may look at this and see absolute distorted nonsense, what I see is a man who understands how to truly appreciate the artistry that is 2000s ecchi anime. When you're watching these stupid harem anime of this era, look, it's important to go in with the right mindset. It's called hiding behind the world's thickest veil of irony and pretending you still have even the smallest semblance of normalness to your character. Speaking of irony, however, did you know that if you skip to right around the 4-minute mark of the first episode, you can actually see a vampire girl wearing a rosary? Now, here's a game theory for you to chew on. Could this girl be the Rosario Vampire? I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas here. I don't mean to be controversial or anything. This anime is about a boy named Sukune. Now, you see, Sukune used to go to a human school where everybody was the same, but now he goes to a monster school because Ao knows his last name. That didn't make any sense, Eden. So this anime follows this guy named Sukune, and he hops on a bus. Got the goofy bus driver. It's like you're playing transit on Black Ops 2. And the bus driver takes him to his boarding school, far, far away from home. The catch being that, ooh, the school is so spooky. Look at the sky, it's red. Have you pissed your pants yet? Now, there's not too much you need to know about Sukune initially, aside from the fact that he's a pretty useless guy, but he has a kind soul and attracts friends because of it. Overall, he's a pretty chill dude. Basically, the only thing you really need to know is that he's the only real human in this school. While every other student in the school may look like a human, they're all actually disguising what they really are. You've got a werewolf, an orc, lizard man, and now that I think about it, I'm growing increasingly concerned that this anime may have spawned quite a lot of furries. But I know what you're thinking as you lay on your stomach, kicking your feet in the air, watching this video. Eden, but what about all those girls on the pixelated ass cover of the anime you showed us earlier? When do they come in? Who is this depressed girl who I really want to step on me? Yes, as this is a harem anime, the plot is nice. The plot, you know, it's most definitely there and present, it's surely existing. These are all very factual statements. But what people watch an anime like Rosario Vampire for, or I guess what people watch comedy, romance, ecchi harem for in general, are for these stupid anime girls doing stupid anime girl things. So why don't we talk about them? Now, there's a lot of potential waifus in this anime. Even the background characters got me acting up sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. This anime is most definitely waifu bait, especially if you're into weird monster woman. I'm talking ditzy cat girls, BDSM spider woman, the list goes on and on. But I'm gonna keep things simple and talk about the 4 main girls of the series, and I'm going to do it in order of chest size because I think that's very funny. Yukari Sendo, most commonly referred to simply as Yukari, is the smartest student at this high school, ranking first in exams. In fact, she skipped many grades and is only age 11 at the start of the anime, stealing Chio-chan's whole fucking flow. Okay, I see you, okay? okay? However, despite being indisputably the most traditionally intelligent character of them all, she's still very childish and loves pulling pranks on people and biting this other girl's tits. I mean, it's literally the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. She would have killed it on Prank Invasion. I could see it now. She fights with magic in a Maho Shoujo style with cards and such. It looks pretty cute, and I like her a lot. Next, we got my stoner waifu, my fucking stoner girlfriend who I totally smoke weed with every day. Oh, I'm sorry, is that a lollipop in your mouth? Well, it should be a blunt because you are invited to the rotation. This is Mizore. She's like a snow girl or something. She makes stuff really cold. Oh, I'm shivering. Now, as you would imagine, as the best anime reviewer on this website, I would elaborate on her character just a little bit more. People expect me saying more than she's just a weed smoker who makes stuff really cold. But look, pal, when it comes down to business, all you gotta know is she's voiced by the Kugamirie, and that automatically makes her best girl as far as I'm concerned. Next is Mocha Akashiya. Now, what's interesting about Mocha, aside from the fact that she's a silly girl with boobs, who is simultaneously a complete girl boss that protects our useless main character on countless occasions. You know what I mean? She goes up to the counter at Burger King and says that our protagonist Sukune asks for no pickles. She's that type of girl boss. But what really makes her unique is that she actually uses they/them pronouns. No, not because she's non-binary or trans or anything like that, but because she is literally two people. Look at her Mal profile picture. She is two people. That's crazy. I would just like to emphasize that her boobs canonically get smaller when she transforms. I don't know. I just really felt like mentioning that. Whenever Mocha's rosary is removed, it causes her inner self to come out, which is like low-key poetic as fuck. Like she really out here slaying and shit. Although they are actually two different people, but also the same person. I don't know. It's kind of not explained too much as far as season 1 goes. I guess you could say when she takes off the Rosario, she becomes the vampire, or when she takes off the vampire. No, and her last character with the biggest chest in the entire anime is conveniently the succubus herself, Kurumo. What's awesome about Rosario Vampire is that no gender is safe from the harassment that comes with an ecchi anime, as this woman is perpetually being a deviant. God damn it, I'd go as far as calling her a complete scallywag, as she really wants to fuck our protagonist. I mean, she really, she's willing to break a couple laws and a couple bones. Aside from that, she argues with the aforementioned lolly Yukari a lot, so that's kind of funny. Yukari literally bites her tits. And now you're probably starting to get an idea of what Rosario Vampire is really about. And so I'm here to now say that you have no idea what Rosario Vampire is about. Any idea that you could have possibly had in your head right now is almost certainly wrong, as this anime takes its initial premise and basically fucking ignores it like 50% of the time, and just has the most off-the-rails, unhinged episodes known to mankind. And one episode that I want to talk about is episode 5, and this one is a bit of a doozy, so I'm going to go back to the alcohol. Yes, this video is now legally classified as an advertisement for prohibited substances. Do drugs like your favorite anime character. It will solve all of your life problems. Anyways, Season 1, Episode 5, School Swimsuit and a Vampire. You see, this episode follows our cast of characters looking for a school club to join. As our not generic at all protagonist, Sukune really wants to join some sort of competitive club so he can impress his they/them waifu. After looking at a couple clubs, this basically leads them to joining the swimming club, all run by a bunch of dumb anime girls who have the most expressionless faces known to God. Now, don't get me wrong, it does partially function as the very well-known excuse to put your characters in swimsuits so our eyes can pop out of our heads and we can all go awooga, awooga. Yes, this is true. I'm aware. I'm not dumb. And that's what I thought this episode was going to be at first as well. But oh boy, was I naive. That is until they break out into song one after another like this is some weird porn DVD your parents had on the top shelf. Then there's this goofy ass obstacle course and all their clothes is falling off. It's really just one of those moments where you have to scratch your head and wonder, what the fuck am I even watching? Then I looked away from the screen for a few seconds, you know, just turning my head to make sure no one else behind me is possibly seeing this. I was in a room by myself, so I don't know how anyone else could, but I just felt that shame creeping on my shoulder. I had to turn around. And so I looked around and I checked my surroundings, but by the time I looked back at my screen, our they/them waifu was literally dying to mermaids in the school pool, and the whole thing was one big plot twist, and I'm just like, bro, let me breathe. Can this anime stop being unhinged for 5 seconds? I am literally begging you, Rosario Vampire. Why does everything in this anime happen so fast? I don't even know what to expect. How am I out of breath just watching a stupid harem anime? Then there's a short action scene where Mocha kicks ass just like every other episode, and boom, the world is saved. And after that entire episode, all of that nonsense, all of that craziness, you realize it was just a setup for the next episode where they end up having to join the newspaper club, and my face at that moment when I realized it was all just a setup arc the entire time. I mean, bro, is that not peak fiction? One Piece? Throw it away. My Hero Academia, burn that shit, baby. This, Rosario Vampire, is obviously the greatest anime of all time. I rest my case. But what about the manga? Vsauce music. What about the manga, Eden? Well, when researching topics worthy of discussion surrounding the series, I found different people from different eras mention that the anime was kind of a sin, a failure, that it shouldn't exist. And that was mainly due to the fact that if you read the original manga, not only could you basically immediately tell that the art style is significantly different, but the manga is just way less lewd in general. It has a slightly more serious tone. And personally, I found that interesting for a bunch of reasons. Now, obviously, if you took a beloved manga series in the year of 2022 and adapted it to anime form with a bunch of extra fan service, bro, I don't even want to look at Twitter. Basically, the entire season that anime is airing. Shit is gonna be having more casualties than the Minecraft Clay Soldiers mod. But I also think it's interesting because we often see the opposite trend nowadays where manga is a lot more lewd and the anime is typically a more watered down version of that experience. Just another reason why I was clearly born in the wrong generation. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in all honesty. Do you think adding in extra fan service in anime adaptations like this is something that should be allowed? Should we encourage it, or should we discourage it? I honestly and personally don't know. It's a weird topic that we really don't see all that often, so I feel like I haven't had time to formulate my opinion. The way I see it is that either way, you can read the manga or watch the anime, and now there are two uniquely interesting ways to experience the story. Depending on what you want, everybody wins. If you like anime, you can get an anime with fan service, consistently strong animation, good choice of color, and all that goofy 2008 shit like colored subtitles with drop shadow. It's amazing and it feels like home for any veteran otaku. But if you want something more serious with less fan service, then the manga isn't going anywhere. But back to the anime, and back to my original question all the way back at the beginning of this video. Should you watch Rosario Vampire? Honestly, I think yes. If you think the fan service or obvious filler bullshit gets annoying, you always have the manga as a backup to read. It's tonally different and can scratch a completely different itch. I think it's a pretty worthwhile anime, and I think it definitely deserves to be considered a classic harem series. As, you know, it made me exhale through my nose many a time. But you know who else makes me exhale through my nose? My patrons over at patreon.com/KodowaEden, who I will read right now. Huge thanks to Adam, Adrian, Burn Burrito, Doll, Dusk, Fi, Amy Ray, Huncho DM, Jacob, Joe, K-Moy, Konakona, Kongo, Krog, Malik, Megaton, Mental Penalty, Raj, Newside, Overlord Scooby, Robert Thaffen, Rover Roach, Chicken, Derp Cloud, Tucktoad, Yabs, Zora, and all the other patrons over at patreon.com/KodowaEden.